And next, I would like to introduce our closing speaker. State Senator Jeff Smith is a former small business owner from the Eau Claire area, and he has also served as chairman of the Brunswick Town Board for many years. From 2006 to 2010, he served 2 terms in the state assembly, and he liked it so much that he came back in 2018 into the legislature as a state senator. In his current area, his District 31 stretches from Menominee in Dunn County to Chippewa Falls to the north, Osseo to the south, and Augusta to the east. In addition to serving his constituents, he holds a leadership role. This session, he has retained his role as Assistant Minority Leader in the Senate, which he has held since 2023. Please welcome State Senator Jeff Smith.
All right, I know that this means, closing remarks means you're this close to the end, and I heard going to have some drinks afterwards, and I don't want to hold you from that very long. For me, it's a matter of prepared remarks. My staff over there, they do such a great job of making sure that I don't make a fool of myself when I'm speaking to a good crowd. And of course, they want to make sure my comments don't get in the way of well-prepared remarks. While on the other hand, my job, in my mind, is not to let good prepared remarks get in the way of what I really have on my mind. But that said, again, I want to thank you all for allowing me to do this. This is really a great honor for me. Renew Wisconsin is so important. And, you know, it's almost like we should replace Forward Wisconsin with Renew Wisconsin. Because that's where we're going. That's what we have to do. We started with, I like to go all the way back in history to the electrifying America. This is one of those things that it's not something we're done with. We are never done with these sorts of things. This is a continuing evolution of America, and this is the next evolution. And I want to thank all of you who are here today and have been here all day and giving us all this information that we've seen today to be sure that we understand that climate change is real, and for us to leave what we need to leave in this country and for our next generations, a place that is useful, that is something to be proud of, a legacy that we can leave behind. We have to explore all of these options and make sure that we absolutely renew Wisconsin. Now that said, I do also want to, and I'm going to actually done this twice, but I was here earlier and heard the panel up here, and I was really actually, of course, enthralled with their final comments about the new maps and how it would affect what happens in the future, and I could go on for that, and then you probably wouldn't get to your drinks very long, but so I'm not going to dwell on that, but we are in for an interesting session with all of the policies that we should probably address and get to, but I think what we're going to see is a little holding back to see what happens in the spring election, and then proceed from there, depending on what the majority party and minority party is able to come up with and agree to. And there was a mention about how we have tightened the margins, and that's what I'm really excited about. I'm okay if I have to serve in the minority as long as I'm listened to. As long as we have a real conversation, as politicians should have, about what to do to go forward, to grow Wisconsin, and to make life better for all of our citizens. And again, that's something that you all are doing. And so then the next part, what I really came for, and I was so excited, I'm so glad that I was here for the stories that actually Erica just mentioned as well. What great stories that we heard today and was shared. And from the tribes and the work that they do to be sure that they are able to endure the storms that they have to live through, and they're prepared, and the battery storage that makes all the sense in the world. Something, of course, that they're doing. And then I got to say, I'm right now, and my staff has heard me repeat this like 4 times in my office already today, was the quote that cats may look regal on a fence, but not so much human beings. And that is, Kathy Kuhn said that, and it is in my head forever. I'm going to be using that every time I speak. The people are going to go get so sick of that. And then the three young women who are up here for the green team, and I'm going to talk about that a little later because I have some exciting news from them when I walked in today for this speech, but they had to leave. But just as we're heading into okay, I'm reading from a prepared remarks now, so hold with me. So just as we were heading into a golden, or dare I say, a green age, there's a lot of uncertainty now where Wisconsin and the rest of the nation will go for green energy. But it is not something that should hold us back. Just because there is concerns or we're not sure about what is going to be the priorities coming out of Washington. We know what our priorities are, you know what your priorities are, and we're going to continue to work with you as a legislature, persons like myself, and encouraging others. And fact is, this is a road we're way down this road. And I got to tell you my own personal story. I have the last time my wife and I bought a new car was in 2006. I tell you that because I don't want you to think this happens all the time. But after the election and came in December, it was getting to the end of the year, and I'm thinking, I better buy that EV that I've always wanted to buy now. And that is what I did. And so I'm kind of in the learning process now about where to find my chargers, how to prep my time when I come to Madison. I'm getting into a routine, and it's really exciting. I'm really thrilled by that. But we're way down that road. And literally, the car manufacturers, this is what they're doing. It doesn't matter what Washington tells them or what they're saying. This is the route, the way we're going. And we all have to be prepared. And I'm really excited that we have that $79 or $78 million in hand in Wisconsin and already have a mapped out where our charging stations are going in Wisconsin. And I was just with the governor a week ago up in Chippewa Falls for, I think, the fourth charging station that has been actually opened. And to think that when you look at our map, Ashland has a first charging station. And if you look at that map of where there's any other charging stations, you probably have to go another 100 miles before you've come to another charging station. We have a long ways to go, but we're going to get there, and I'm really excited about the direction we're going on the state level in that regard. But when it comes to that, and Biden's Inflation Reduction Act and other green energy infrastructure investments, they were a watershed moment for this country. And it certainly has rapidly put us in a place and on a trail that's going to make a difference. And you're all going to be a part of that difference making, and I am excited to be a part of that as well. But as I've said in the past though, last year, people would be talking about the campaign, and I kept I told people, and look it up, I said, you need to take Trump for his word. When he said he's going to do certain things, he's going to do them. And that's what we're seeing happen. He has a whole different take about all of these things, but what's kind of interesting is that, I've got to look up in my prepared remarks, this part here, that the secretary that he has nominated for energy does admit that climate change is real. But on the other hand, he turns around and says something to the effect that, we're not really affecting it, or it's an interesting walking a fine line there. We know whatever the people's opinions are about what causes climate change, that it's real. We can have that discussion all you want, but we're wasting time having that conversation. It's real. But we are wise, intelligent, highly developed human beings who now, okay, some are, who can make the difference and turn it around, no matter what the cause is. And we're going to do that with your help. So what I really want to get to finally is that because I only got a little bit of this prepared speech, didn't I? But you want to get to your drinks, your meals, your dinner, intermingle again, and I appreciate all of you and the conversations that I've had. But the best conversation that I had was when I walked in for the end here for the last hour. I ran into my green team. I say my green team because they're my Chippewa Falls High School. These young ladies are amazing. They sat in our office for an hour and a half yesterday, and we had a great conversation, talked about the future, talked about what they did, talked about how the green team worked, and the previous team that was there. You heard a lot of that if you were here, and I'm sure you were because the room was packed this afternoon or this morning. And they told the story, their story, about, one part of that story was a camp, which has been their latest project. The camp that they went to, they thought they were going there because the camp said that they wanted to get panels. They really wanted to go green and get panels. But these really smart young women did their analysis and found that it wasn't smart enough for them, it wasn't the right time for them to get panels without first addressing the leaks in their buildings and fortifying the energy possibilities of their buildings. So they put the money that they had into doing that. When they left here, they were approached by One Energy and said, we'll give them the panels. See the difference that you all make and that young people like that can make by telling their story, making sure that, that everyone knows what's going on. What a great finish to that story. And I thought you needed to hear that. Isn't that cool? And I want to thank One Energy for doing that. They've been great partners in the area that I serve as it is, and we're so lucky to have people like that around. Now, finally, that really is what I really wanted to get to, is tell you that story and to thank you again for all that you do. And I myself am excited about the future. No matter what's going on around us, the distractions and the chaos and all that's happening everywhere else, we're going forward because we will continue to call Wisconsin's motto forward, but the addendum is grow Wisconsin, or renew Wisconsin. Renew Wisconsin, and thank you.
Thank you, Senator Smith, for those not only very kind but very inspiring words. I hope. How's everybody doing? Good? Everybody inspired? Everybody better or worse than this morning? Better. That's what I like to see. We're almost done, people. We're at the 26.1 miles right now. So I'm going to keep it short. But I do want to thank a few folks here before we depart, and I want to start by thanking my excellent Renew staff. Is there any staff? There they are, all back in the corner. Please give them a big round of applause. You guys are so wonderful. You're so great. I'm so happy and proud and just honored to be your colleague, and thank you so much for all the incredible work that you've put in for not just today, but for the last several weeks and months as well. Please, everybody, give my staff another round of applause. Also would like to thank the board. If there are board members in the audience, would you mind standing up so we can acknowledge you as well? I see one. Is that it? Don? Thank you all so much for all your support and your help throughout the year. We cannot make this happen without you all as well. So really appreciate everything that you do for this organization. And finally, I want to thank all of you. There are a million things that go into planning this event. There are a million things that have to be executed to make this event run as smooth as it does. But what truly makes it so fun and such a great time is the people, right? If you are going to a party, you don't care where the party is, you care if the cool people are at the party. And the cool people are at this party. So thank you so much for being here. You make this event what it is. And I just really want to truly thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting this organization and for being here today to lift up this entire industry. So thank you so much. At this point, I'm going to say thanks again, safe travels. I hope you will all join us outside for a beverage, but thank you again, and we hope to see you back next year.